Welcome to Saturday Night Retro. It's been a while since we've done a stream. We usually have been doing them on Friday nights, thus the name of the stream, Friday Night Retro. So I guess you could say this is Friday Night Retro Late Edition. I do apologize a little bit for the flicker on the monitor. I'm trying to make a. Need to make a PC floppy disk with a particular file on it for what we're going to do on the Power Mac this evening. And if you read the description, I asked the question, what operating system celebrates its 30th anniversary this year? And it was apparently a big deal for the time. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. I will wait until we actually start up the PC compatibility card on the Macintosh, and then you'll see exactly which operating system it is. So if you have followed me and watched some of the things that I've done with the PC compatibility card, then, well, cat's already out of the bag. You know what operating system that is. So it's been quite a while since we've used the kind of like the tweener machine, the Latitude D600. So I need to first update the date on that because the battery died. And it's really 8:30 p.m. Okay. Just need to, boot up some Windows XP, format and copy the file to the thumb drive. Then we'll do our thing with the PC compatibility card. To me, if you heard that, that was the startup chime for Windows XP, and it's still my favorite version of Windows, my most nostalgic version of Windows. Spent a lot of years supporting it, deploying it. So we're going to format the floppy disk, full format. Okay. So this will take a couple of minutes. So if you are new to the channel, we've bounced around a couple of different places over the last 5-10 years. The place we are at now, we hope is going to be the permanent place, but much smaller space in order to do videos like this. So I'm in my new, equally, clear office, and we've had Power Mac 7600 set up here with this Apple RGB monitor, 640 by 480 resolution, but still pretty bright. And we've upgraded the Power Mac. It has a Sonnet G3 500 upgrade card. It's got 512 megabytes of RAM, and we'll open up the system profiler. So, show you some software. As I said, 512 megabytes of RAM. See if I can find the section on the CPU. Strangely enough, okay. So PowerPC, of course it thinks it's 557 megahertz. We'll take it. We'll take it. And let's see here. Copy this to copy. So one of the things I particularly liked was when Apple decided, I think, that in order to help persuade business customers to buy Macintoshes, was to provide a way to run PC software that the developer did not have and was not going to have a version of it for. So they had the DOS compatibility card initially, and then they made what was called the PC compatibility card. And years ago, I did have a Power Mac 4400 that had the 166 megahertz variant of the compatibility card, but you know how life is. You have to move stuff around when you move around. So I did get my hands on the 7-inch PC compatibility card, which is only a 100 megahertz Cyrix 586, but good enough for us. So let's switch to the PC compatibility card, let it boot up, and we'll answer the question, what OS is 30 years old this year? The card has 64 megs of RAM installed. And, of course, Windows 95 will be 30 years old in August, at least from the perspective of public availability. This is OSR 2.5, and if you know anything about Windows 95, the first edition had some limitations. It could not support hard drive volume, partition sizes more than 2048 megabytes. So OSR 2 and 2.5. 2.0 provided FAT32 volumes, so you could do single partitions greater than 2 gigabytes, but you could not use disk compression tools such as drive space on those types of volumes. So the version I have here, I do beg your pardon, it is 2.5, but could not format the drive as FAT32 because of the way the PC compatibility card has you build virtual drive volumes and set up partitioning. You can only, yes, the PC compatibility card will only let you build virtual hard drives that are 1 gigabyte in size. Now there are supposed to be ways that if you had, for example, an external SCSI hard disk, you could directly connect the PC compatibility card to that. And that's weird. Very, very, very strange. Okay. Well, I'm gonna force restart it. Well, this is peculiar. We're gonna turn off the PC. We're gonna restart the Mac because the floppy drive is not responding. Okay. So the eject at startup still works, which means I don't think it's a hardware problem. Okay. Just want to see if it. Well, the drive disk does show up in the Finder. Okay, so let's start the PC. And Studio Cat is here. If you would be interested in seeing a video on how you set up the software side of the the PC compatibility card, you want to say hello to the audience, Studio Cat? If you think you can get up in front of the camera. All right. I think that was the problem we were having before trying to set this up is what we're trying to do is the PC compatibility card, of course, is compatible with MS-DOS, PC-DOS, Windows 3X. It's also compatible with Windows 95 and 98, except And I'll show you here when I go into the control panel and come to system and performance, you'll see that all the drives are using MS-DOS compatibility mode, which really slows the system down quite a bit. And there was a third-party vendor, I think in the UK, that updated, took some of Apple's code and developed their own code to fix this drive compatibility problem. And of course, trying to find this file here, which I don't know if I have corrupt file or not. So I'm just gonna spin around, get the old laptop. Excuse me. Okay. Might have to do this a couple of ways. Okay. Just going through some of the old instructions. Okay. Have you ever heard the expression RTFM? Let's go settings, control panel, and double click add new hardware. No. And what does it say? Choose hard disk controller. Well, let's put the disk back in. That's what I thought. let's see. Doesn't have what I'm looking for. So let's say have disk. I'm going to say C, Windows. I'm just reading the instructions. I will update the video description. C Windows subsystem. C Windows system IO subsys. All right. Cancel this then. Okay. Let's put a new fresh copy that we found from Wayback Machine. On this floppy disk. And I move it over to the tweener machine. I don't have a USB cable that works with my floppy drive anymore. So that's why I have to copy it to thumb drive and then put it in the tweener machine and then manually copy it over. Pop this back into the Mac. Oh my. Okay, so this one is much better. I don't know what was wrong with the other one, but we're going to have to hang on to this. Well, let me just summarize software components that enable Apple PC Compatibility card to run Windows 95 and 98 using 32-bit device drivers. Two separate sets of components. It's an upgrade to existing Apple PC 164, which of course you have, and you can download that for free. You can find it all over. Well, good news is, and this is working. We'll be able to fix that. Look at the instructions. Okay. All right. No, need to do it after. So I have off to the left side of the camera, I've got a Power Macintosh 7200 on the floor. And one of the things that how they designed the motherboard for that, actually I should be able to show you right here. Some stuff. Sneeze and thank you. Excuse me. Just gonna pan to the right a little bit. In order to get the display, this is the cable that comes out of the PC compatibility card, and it has like a pass through from the video output of the system, and then, you know, this really long cable. However, on the motherboard of the Power Mac 7200, it doesn't internally. Like, there's a special ribbon cable that is used, and I'm kind of like, why the heck didn't Apple think of doing this on all of the product line at the time? Because you would have figured 7600 had more and was more expensive than a 7200. Okay. Let me close these windows. Okay. That's all right. So let's go through and finish the rest of the setup instructions. I know he doesn't like it because it's not working. All right. I think So we probably locked it up, but that's okay. We're going to restart the PC and go back to it. See if this performs better. I'm hoping as we get closer to August, to the 30th anniversary of Windows 95, we'll have some other things lined up, and planning on trying to get back to our originally schedule, Friday nights, Friday night retro. But of course, this is not the full-time job for me, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Drive A is, but at least the other two are not. We can deal with that. One of the other things going to do, so that is essentially the reason for tonight's video. Is wanted to talk about Windows 95, the PC compatibility card. Wanted to see if we could get installed the non-Apple support software that lets us get 32-bit compatibility mode, or not, sorry, but oh, that's not good. That's not good. Well, okay. Oh boy. Whoops. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay, drive D. Just want to see if we can get some networking activity. One of the other unique technologies that we support and archive here is RCA Selectavision video discs, aka CED video discs, and that website is still intentionally authored in that version of HTML so that we can view it on retro gear and browsers. So if you want to stick around for that and the other two things, I'm going to show you some of the new technology that has come in. One or more network transport drivers fail to load. Okay, that's what I thought. We can take that out. What we can do is we can play something from the media folder in Media Center. We're not going to restart it right now. What should we play? Canyon? Well, helps a little bit. Okay. So what I'm about to show you really isn't retro by any means. More modern. Since went to college, the Ag and Tech School. What they had as part of their technology program back in the late 90s, they were what was called a ThinkPad University, and of course, ThinkPads. And it was still IBM up until, 2005, and it's been Lenovo ever since. So here we are, 20 years under Lenovo's banner, and, well, still have, what, 4 years where it'll be. Lenovo will have had the PC division from IBM longer than IBM had it. So this is, if you can see this thing, this is a ThinkPad P72. The P, I'm not sure what the P stands for, but I'm going to assume it means for performance. The 7 means gigantic 17-inch screen, and the 2 is second generation of this thing. I'm like, wow, why would you want something like that? Because it does have NVIDIA Quadro, which isn't the best discrete graphic subsystem for gaming, but does work. It can support 128 gigabytes of RAM. It has 4 DIMM slots in here, and if I can do it without losing screws, we're gonna take the cover off just to look and see what's inside, just to confirm. I know what the hardware reference manual says, and usually, because it's still, or at least it was when IBM sold the division to Lenovo, it was IBM's people in Morrisville, North Carolina, and some of you, my viewers on the channel, also went to a place called Morrisville. So as you can imagine, my glee over the irony that where we went to college is also the same, at least namesake anyway, place that IBM's PC division ended up in North America, the United States. It was in Boca Raton, Florida. If you remember way back in the day. I am unscrewing the maybe I need to get one size bit larger. If I can. Does that fit better? That's what we're going to use. Okay. Maybe not. Okay. I think I've got all the screws. No, one more. Really? These look like they're captive screws, which is good, which means you can't really unscrew them all the way. Which, knowing my luck in the much smaller recording space, okay. So, like some ThinkPads, there's two really? Okay. See if we can get a good look at this. So it provides space for a 2.5 hard drive, and then there's two DIMM slots, and then underneath here is for two M2s. And to get access to the other DIMM slots, you've got to take the keyboard off. So, not really prepared to do that tonight. This particular unit came with 48 gigs of RAM. And I'm just kind of wondering how. I think what they did is they've got, there's 32 on the bottom total, and then 16 under the keyboard. Although, something I'm kind of surprised at is when I start this up, I can only see one of the hard drives, and it does look there is a 512 gigabyte the M2, and whatever this light on. Oh, okay. Does not have the cable for it. It's just kind of living there, and I can't see what the size is, although it's got 256 gigs. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out. Gonna have to find the cable for that. But anyway, that shouldn't be a big deal. That's 2 out of the 3. The third thing is, of course, our usual stick on Friday night, or in this case, Saturday Night Retro. We conclude with one of our favorite games from the 90s, and that's You Don't Know Jack the Ride. Okay. Well, we will turn the PC off. Let's change the disk image in Blue SCSI.
Alert. Set CD to YDKJ hyphen the hyphen RID hyphen CD to YSO.
Yes, of course we do. Okay.
I'm sure someday your great-great-grandchildren will ask their parents what people did for fun on a Saturday night at the turn of the millennium. I have a feeling that you won't be mentioned. Now then, how many of you are there?
Wow.
That wasn't a rhetorical question. How many of you? Well, just the one. That's fine.
Well, let me
Are
just
you a first-time?
pause this. If you are referring to the PC compatibility card, they went for about $500, give or take, and that wasn't with the additional memory. Some of them came with 4 or 8 megabytes soldered on board, and they would give you a single slot to upgrade the RAM in it if you wanted.
Ryder. Splendid. Glad you had the courage to play again. You should be typing in your name now. Thanks a lot. As you know, your buzzer is the key with the...
It wasn't cheap. And now that they're getting so rare, I suppose they're getting rare. If you do, yes, search eBay for Apple PC compatibility card sold listings. They're pretty pricey. Like, I think this one was $200 and something for me, which, when you think here we are pushing almost 30 years on that hardware.
Don't make any mistakes now. We're watching you.
It's time for the show where high culture and pop culture collide. You Don't Know Jack is brought to you by ADH Technologies. If we told you who we are, we'd have to kill you. And now, please welcome the one, the only, Schmitty.
Well, all right. Welcome to the game. Hey, I hope you don't mind me butting in on your quality time with your computer. I mean, a little human contact is nice. Remember, advanced technology made the ride possible, so don't question it. Let's go. Buzz in for the butt. Okay, that was one of the worst choices I've seen. Here's your category. Digital technology and healthy bowels. So I'm sure you're all aware of the importance of maintaining a high-fiber diet. Never too early to think about it. This way you can avoid painful outpatient surgery. Yesterday. Anyway, what would a high-fiber optic diet consist of? Generous daily fiber optic cables use thin strands of glass to transmit data. But if you actually started the diet, I think you'd find your data transmission a little uncomfortable, if you know what I mean. This one's
Well, I'm running this on the Macintosh side.
WIT, the Welding Institute of Technology. Okay, you remember how in Flashdance everyone said Jennifer Beals was a maniac on the floor? Well, get ready for this. Suppose in the movie Flashdance, Jennifer Beals...
But if you scroll back in the video a little bit, transitioned from the Windows 95 on the PC card to this, played Canyon in Media Player using the MIDI synth table on the PC card. So, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't very choppy.
We're an ENIAC on the floor. Which of these would she do? Calculate sums like she's never done before. Conduct heat like she's never done before. Cook like she's... Something that puts out more heat than Jennifer Beals? What could this thing you speak of be? The correct answer is... The ENIAC was the first large-scale modern computer.
548.
But it did put out a lot of heat.
Look at those figures. That's a tall bank. All right. This category is delivering mail through rain, sleet, and spam. Yeah, no, I know. Queen Elizabeth II seems pretty stuffy and old-fashioned, but I think she's kind of a closet techno geek because she has, in fact, used email. Say that a lost email finally shows up in your inbox, and turns out it's the first email Queen Elizabeth II ever sent. Based on current events at the time, how might it read? No more Soviet Union! Woohoo! I have Berlin Wall pieces for sale. President Ford is such a bore. Or, I don't understand the Whitewater issue. No, geez, that was like 1988 or 89. By that time, Elizabeth was like rebuilding old memory boards and hacking into military computers and stuff. Okay, now, here's a good answer. Ford was still president when Queen Elizabeth sent her first first email back in 1976. So now that you got her email, she'll get a notification that you read it. Then she'll
Wow,
call
I
you
didn't
with a
know that.
message on your voicemail asking you what you thought. You can send her an email back asking to arrange a meeting, and then she'll write back and have you pay her. Very nice, respectable. This one's called Think About Hiring a Different Ad Agency. Hey, have you seen those annoying Think Different ads for Apple Computer? Say Apple devised a campaign around John Macintosh, for whom the Macintosh apple is named. Considering how he discovered the apples, what might be a good slogan for Apple? Make mistakes. Try pruning. Sure, if you got time to run to the bathroom 12 times an hour. Well, that'll make an exciting story, won't it? Canadian farmer John Macintosh just found these things growing on his land in Ontario, which I think is more or less the way it happened with Bill Gates and his Windows. Oh, nice one. And now, right before your very eyes, Dis or Dat. The name of your Dis or Dat category is Subject Dynamite. Okay, I'm going to read off 7 names, and for each one, I want you to tell me if it's a computer virus hoax, a Jimmy Walker TV show, or both. Cash in for each one you get right, and you lose cash if you get one incorrect or don't get to it. You got to get all 7 of them in 30 seconds. Here we go. The end of Virus Walker show, or both. Arena. Fantastic. Baby New Year. At ease. Good times. And now. You missed 4 out of 7? How do you look at yourself in the mirror? Here's your current score. You feel good about that? Let's keep going. Hit that button. Here's a little something I call Physics, the extended mix. Pay attention now. This here's a fill-in-the-blank question. So when you know the answer, buzz your little buzzer and type. You ready? If Einstein had theorized that E equals MC Hammer, to what force would the rapper be equivalent? Come on. I'm sorry, did you say something? In this equation, MC Hammer is equal to energy. Apparently, you couldn't touch this. Buzz in and tell me how much the next question's good. That looks good. Way to grab it. Try this category. Bob says math ain't so hard. Time for the trivia. Because he's such a do-it-yourselfer, which of these might handyman Bob Vila choose over a calculator? A dividing rod, a protractor, an abacus, or a rubber band and a wing nut? Protractor. Actually, the amateur tractor pulls are better. Does this ring a bell? An abacus can't do any calculating at all. It just keeps track of numbers for people who can already count. You know, like Bob. But remember, before doing any calculating, be sure to put on your safety goggles. Work that. Roadkill. Dead ahead. Don't forget, when you see the answer that unites the pair of items on the screen, go ahead and buzz in. And don't forget about that bonus round. Time to start grinding your gears. Let's do it. Working class collar and depressed. What do these 2 things have in common? Deep brown. Parliament's funky Blank City. Female whale. Good elements and moonshine equals blank squeezins. Four. Golf club and blank wind instrument. Fireplace duel and face without expression. correct answers have in common? Are they all playing with computers? High-making computer games? Corporate gift baskets? Tiny chips? You got it! Wow, you're catching those chips up.
I am not going to catch up
Check out
now.
your score there, make sure everything's in order, and we're moving on. Up next, you're as sharp as a tachometer. Okay, it's party time with 3,653 of my best friends. Say you need to reinvent the wheel. Assuming your wheel still uses the parts of a circle, which of these do you not need? An area, a radium, a center, or a diameter? Radium is an element, not part of a circle. You must be very proud of yourself. The cavemen could at least draw their plans out on the walls, but you had to think all on your own. Coming at you. LeMay Day. Okay, do you remember how General Curtis LeMay threatened to bomb the North Vietnamese back to the Stone Age? Oh yeah, he said it. I heard it. Anyway, imagine General LeMay's machismo got out of hand. If the North Vietnamese had been bombed back to the Stone Age, what would they not be doing today? Starting fires, using crude metal tools, domesticating animals, or cultivating crops. Metal tools didn't come along until the Copper Age. Folks during the Stone Age used tools made of, get this, stone.
And remember, before using any tool, be sure to put on your safety gun. Ow, my eye!
Not calling this one. Jingle all the way to the bank. Okay, first there was the Terminator, then you got T2, right? Well, there's no such thing as the end of a series when big bucks are involved. Except maybe this one. That's another story. Anyway, suppose the third installment in the Terminator series, T3, is released. Considering what a T3 is, what weak premise could explain Arnold's return from the dead? He was rebuilt from digital video analysis. A super collider regenerated him. He was down.
I'll be back. Ow!
Why didn't you pick this one? T3s are high bandwidth phone lines for transferring computer data real fast like. I hear studio execs considered calling Terminator 3 the downloader, but just didn't sound as glamorous. Slap your buzzer, we'll find out how much this category is. Technology can be so wacky. Look no further, here's your question. What's this cute little thing called? ASCII, hypertext, an emoticon, or a cookie? Those annoying little smiley faces are called emoticons! Man, what a cold, impersonal world we live in. You know, it used to be, you just go over to the person's house with your face all screwed up and your head cocked sideways. Buzz in and lock onto the... This food's not too technical for you. Eat me up, Scotty. And if you do really well, you should be really ashamed. Bye-bye. Actually, one more probably wouldn't have saved your crappy score.
Well, thank you for joining me in this long overdue episode of Whatever Night It Is Retro. And I hope you will tune in next time, hopefully, back to our regular schedule of Friday evenings. Stay tuned.